Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun and the second smallest planet in our solar system. It is cold, desert world with a very thin atmosphere. Mars is sometimes called the red planet because of the reddish iron oxide in its soil. Welcome to Luminary Cosmos. In today's episode, we'll explore Mars and probe into different segments like physical characteristics, potential for life, and future exploration of Mars. So watch this video till the end and do not forget to subscribe Luminary Cosmos. Let's begin. Mars has been a source of fascination for humans for centuries. The first recorded observations of Mars were made by the ancient Egyptians and Babylonians. In the 17th century, Italian astronomers Galileo Galilei used a telescope to observe Mars and made the first detailed drawings of its surface features. In the 20th century, our understanding of Mars grew exponentially, thanks to robotic spacecraft. The first successful Mars probe was Mariner 4, which flew by the planet in 1965. Since then, dozens of spacecraft have visited Mars, including orbiters, landers, and rovers. These missions have revealed that Mars is a planet with a complex and varied past. There is evidence that Mars once had a much thicker atmosphere and liquid water on its surface. This suggests that Mars may have once been habitable or capable of supporting life. One of the key findings from these missions is the discovery of water ice on Mars. Water ice has been found in the polar ice caps, in the soil, and even in the atmosphere. This is significant because water is essential for life as we know it. Another key finding is the evidence of past habitability on Mars. This evidence includes the presence of organic molecules, which are the building block of life. It also includes the discovery of ancient riverbeds and lakes, which suggests that Mars once had a much more hospitable environment. The possibility of life on Mars is one of the reasons why the planet is so interesting to scientists and the public. While there is no definitive proof that life ever existed on Mars, the evidence is certainly tantalizing. Future missions to Mars will continue to search for signs of life, past and present. If we are ever to find evidence of extraterrestrial life, Mars is the most likely place in our solar system to find it. Here is a brief timeline of some of the key events in the history of human exploration of Mars. 1965. Mariner 4 becomes the first spacecraft to fly by Mars. 1976. Viking 1 and Viking 2 became the first spacecraft to land on Mars. 1997. Pathfinder lands on Mars and deploys a Sojourner rover. 2003. Mars Exploration Rover MER Spirit and Opportunity lands on Mars. 2008. Phoenix lands on Mars and discovers water ice in the soil. 2012. Mars Curiosity rover lands on Mars. And 2020. Perseverance rover and Ingenuity helicopter lands on Mars. Physical characteristics of Mars. Let's start with the size of Mars. Size. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun and the second smallest planet in our solar system. It is about half the size of Earth with a diameter of 4,222 kilometers. Atmosphere. Mars has a very thin atmosphere, about 1% of the thickness of Earth's atmosphere. The atmosphere is made up mostly of carbon dioxide, with small amounts of nitrogen, oxygen, argon, and other gases. Surface features. Mars has a variety of surface features, including volcanoes, canyons, and craters. The largest volcano on Mars is Olympus Mons, which is 3 times taller than Mount Everest. The largest canyon on Mars is Valles Marineris, which is smaller than the Grand Canyon and twice as deep. Mars also has a number of craters which were formed by impacts from asteroids and comets. Environment. The Martian environment is very different from Earth's. The atmosphere is too thin to breathe, and the surface temperatures are very cold, averaging 63 - degrees Celsius. There is no liquid water on the surface of Mars, but there is evidence that water ice exists in the polar ice caps and in the soil. The Martian environment is harsh, but it is not impossible for humans to survive on Mars. With the right technology, humans will live in pressurized environments on Mars and the use of resources available on the planet to support life. Here are some additional facts about Mars. Mars has two moons, Phobos and Deimos. Phobos is about the size of a small mountain and Deimos is even smaller. Mars has a day that is about the same length as a day on Earth. However, Mars' years is much longer than Earth's year, lasting about 607 Earth days. Mars is a very dusty planet. The dust storms on Mars can be so thick that they can block out the sun for weeks at a time. Mars has a magnetic field, but it is much weaker than Earth's magnetic field. This means that Mars is not as protected from solar radiation as Earth is. Potential for life on Mars. Here are some of the potential for life on Mars. Past life. There is evidence that Mars may have once been more hospitable for life than it is today. For example, there is evidence that Mars once had a much thicker atmosphere and liquid water on its surface. This suggests that Mars may have once been able to support life as we know it. Present life. There is no definitive proof that life exists on Mars today, but there is some evidence that suggests it is possible. For example, the Curiosity rover has found organic molecules on Mars, which are the building blocks of life. The rover has also found evidence of past water, which could have provided a habitat for life. Challenges. Life on Mars will face a number of challenges, including the harsh environment. The Martian environment is very different from Earth's. The atmosphere is too thin to breathe and surface temperatures are very cold. There is a lot of radiation on Mars, which could be harmful to life. The lack of liquid water. Liquid water is essential for life as we know it. There is some water ice on Mars, but it is mostly found in the polar ice caps and in the soil. There is no liquid water on the surface of Mars, which would make it difficult for life to survive. Despite the challenges, the potential for life on Mars is still a topic of great interest to scientists and the public. Future missions to Mars will continue to search for signs of life, both past and present. If we are ever to find evidence of extraterrestrial life, Mars is the most likely place in our solar system. Here are some additional facts about potential for life on Mars. Scientists have been searching for evidence of life on Mars for decades. The most promising evidence for past life on Mars comes from the discovery of organic molecules. Organic molecules are the building blocks of life, and they have been found in Martian meteorites, in the soil of Mars, and in the atmosphere of Mars. However, organic molecules can be formed by non-biological processes, so the discovery of organic molecule does not necessarily mean that life exists or existed on Mars. The search for life on Mars is ongoing, and scientists are using a variety of methods to look for evidence of life, both past and present. The possibility of life on Mars is a fascinating and important question. As we continue to learn more about Mars, we may one day find the answer to this question. Future exploration of Mars. Human missions. There are currently no plans for manned mission to Mars, but there's a lot of interest in sending humans to Mars in the future. A manned mission to Mars won't be a major undertaking, but it will also be a major scientific achievement. A manned mission to Mars will allow scientists to conduct experiments and collect data that would not be possible with robotic probes. Robotic probes. There are a number of robotic probes currently in orbit around Mars or on the surface of Mars. These probes are used to study the planet's surface, atmosphere, and interior. They are also used to search for evidence of life on Mars. The scientific goals of future missions to Mars include determining if Mars ever had the potential to support life. This could be done by searching for evidence of past waters on Mars, as well as organic molecules. Understanding the Martian environment. This could be done by studying the planet's atmosphere, surface, and interior. Preparing for human exploration on Mars. This could be done by developing technologies that would allow humans to survive and thrive on Mars, such as life support systems and radiation shielding. The potential benefit of exploring Mars include learning more about the history of life in the solar system. Mars is the most likely place to the solar system to find evidence of past life. Studying Mars could help us to understand how life began and evolved on Earth. Developing new technologies. The technologies that are developed to explore Mars could have application in other areas such as medicine, energy, and construction, inspiring the next generation of scientists and engineers. Exploring Mars is a daunting challenge, but it is also an incredibly exciting one. It could inspire the next generation of scientists and engineers to pursue careers in space exploration. The future of human exploration of Mars is uncertain, but it is certainly possible. With continued advances with technology, we may one day see humans walking on Mars. When that day comes, it would be a major milestone in human history. Here are some additional thoughts on the future of human exploration of Mars. The first human missions to Mars were likely to be limited to short-term stays in habitats on the surface. These missions will focus on collecting samples and conducting experiments. Later missions will likely involve longer stays on Mars with the goal of establishing a permanent human presence on the planet. This will require developing technologies for growing food, reducing water, and protecting against radiation. The ultimate goal of human exploration of Mars is to terraform the planet, making it more suitable for human habitation. This will involve a massive engineering project, but it is theoretically possible. The future of human exploration on Mars is full of possibilities. It is an exciting time to be alive, and it will be fascinating to see what the future holds. So viewers, that's it for Mars today. Please subscribe to Luminary Cosmos. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments section. See you in another episode. Till that, take care. Goodbye.